During the production process, I use various techniques to attract my audience. The first being due to my magazine being based around a rock genre, I use such colours which would represent this genre. The colours being black, white and red. These colours are often seen in many rock magazines and therefore I decided I would associate my magazine with a representation of this. Also I use these colours in my house style, therefore they appear in many elements of my magazine such as the contents page and the double page spread. However, I use a dark colour of purple to differentiate my magazine from the other competition. This gave the feel that my magazine was unique rather than a copy of magazines such as Kerrang, giving the sense that my reader is also partially unique by reading a different magazine. I have also used elements of my magazine to attract my reader, firstly by adding a banner immediately at the top of the magazine with such bands as Paramore, System of a Down and Funeral for a Friend, being well-known bands in the genre of rock, and appearing to persuade an unsure audience whether to buy this magazine. The banner is also placed at the top near the masthead to attract the audience's attention and immediately giving them information based on the magazine rather than looking in various different places and making the magazine layout appear more confusing. I have also used fonts to attract and address my audience. This is done by firstly using the masthead. As previously mentioned, my masthead's font is named 28 Days Later and gives connotations that are like my audience. My magazine also gives off a sense of chaos and adventure like all rebellious teenagers. The font also appears in white against a black background, giving the masthead a more tarnished look. At the end of the masthead, however, appears an exclamation mark without this font style. Instead, the exclamation mark appears in the font style Arial due to the font not allowing symbols. I use this exclamation mark at the end of the masthead as it gives connotations of excitement and adventure within my magazine, which my audience would have to explore in further detail. For the main headline, I have also used the font Abandon. This was used to reflect the personality and genre of music towards my audience. It was also used traditionally, as we see through various rock magazines, that the masthead is a different font to any other on the page, giving a specific message towards the audience, with mine reflecting that this band is the genre of rock/metal music. The writing style in my magazine also appears to attract my audience, as on various occasions in my product we see the use of informal language. This is shown immediately through cover lines such as "The boys are back from the USA." Unlike newspapers, the stories are quite informal and obscene to relate to more of a young audience. Words such as "boys" and "legends" also give the audience the feel that this magazine is directed at the male gender, as there is a constant reference towards them. This is also supported by the continuous use of images being women. Also, we see that taboo language is used through my magazine, shown through the cover line quote shown above. This shows that I have also used taboo language, as this is stereotypically said more by a young audience compared to an adult of a more of a wise status. These swear words also portray relation towards them, as again we see that more of this generation use them. Also, in my contents page we can see the descriptions beneath the headlines are written in a very conversational style of writing. For example, such phrases as "reckon you could bag a ticket or two to watch AC/DC" and "thought you knew everything about Caitlin B" are used to create a sense of relation towards the audience of my magazine without being over the top. In the cover lines, I have also addressed my audience through the use of text. This is because the topic/band names give a general reference to violence. This is shown through the bands such as Destroyer and August Burning. This was used as stereotypically the genre of rock has a constant connotations of violence and aggression. I have used this to relate to my audience, as they could relate to this style and be easily involved due to the style I have also created. In my work, I have also used topics to relate to my audience of rock viewers. This was because this subculture generally prefers other activities and things such as going to gigs and festivals. In my work, I have portrayed these activities through such topics as winning tickets for an AC/DC concert and Miami ink tattoos. This could also gain my audience's approval, as it would have basic lights of this subculture represented through many aspects of my magazine. In my magazine, I have attracted my audience on males through the use of images of attractive and boisterous females. I have done this as my images give a sense of ideal partner towards the audience, as these females appear to have the same attitude and likes as the reader. They again show aggressive poses, which reflect the magazine genre, and slightly mellower expressions to show the audience the full facial features, giving them a more of a personal look at the models shown in my magazine. The sense of ideal partner also appears in my work when I have commented on my artists on the door page spread living with males and having a very boisterous attitude, making the audience relate and admire the relaxed attitude of the artist and additionally create a bond. Lastly, I have used the aspects of free gifts and competition to attract my audience. This is because immediately my audience are focused on the bright shapes on the pages, these being either the banner or the star-shaped competition. This was also used to connote informality within my magazine and showing a relation towards the teenagers and young adults in the audience. Also, I have used both the persuasion techniques of a poster and a competition at the bottom of my page for my audience, as they are more likely to buy my magazine due to the sense of free items within the magazine. Also, it gives them a chance to win various things which involve their likes. In my case, I have used the persuasion of winning tickets to a gig to involve the likes of the reader.